So you want to hear the tea on the pros and cons of living in Bali. In this video, I am going to break down every little bit that you need to know before you make a decision whether or not you want to come to Bali or not in 2023 and beyond. Starting with, one of the biggest cons is the scooter traffic.
Bruh.
And driving a scooter. For example, if Marcos wasn't here to help me drive the scooter, I don't know if I would be able to do it myself. The one time I did try to drive the scooter, I fell off of it. So even though you may be seeing lots of glamorous things on social media about living in Bali, I really want to take the time here to break down every pro and con that I see about living in Bali now that I've been here for a few months. Before I break down the 8 biggest pros and cons of living in Bali, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more weekly videos like this. The first pro about living in Bali is the low cost of living. First things first is our rent. For 2 people inside of our villa, it's $27.50. That's a little bit on the high end for Bali. You can get a villa here for $900, $1,000. Yes, the cost of living has risen a lot since the pandemic, but people are still getting really good deals on villas. This is just the one that we chose and we absolutely love it. Next up is our Wi-Fi. We actually chose really high-speed Wi-Fi. Both my boyfriend and I are digital entrepreneurs, so Wi-Fi means everything to us, and that's $75 a month. For 2 people to eat, our food expenses are $1,600 a month. So we both have traveler's insurance, and for 2 people, that costs $99 a month. If you want to learn more about that, I can link that for you in the description as well. And next thing is our gym membership. So that's actually one of our highest expenses, obviously besides rent, but you already know that's going to be higher. And the gym is $200 a month for 2 people. And lastly, scooter rides. Scooter rides cost us about $50 a month for 2 people. Some non-essential expenses on top of that are our weekly massages. So those cost about $7 a person, so $14 altogether. And that's for a pretty typical average massage. Of course, there are more expensive massages, but I think that the local Balinese people actually give the best massages. So we really enjoy doing that. You can even get a masseuse to come to your home for that same price. And then I like to get manicures, pedicures bi-weekly. It's really fun because I've been doing it with my friend Laura here, and we've been having so much fun just having girls' days getting mani-pedis. And lastly, just shopping. Like, I'll buy some clothes, maybe I haven't bought any jewelry yet, but maybe like skincare. So I would say I spend about $100 a month just on shopping. So one of the most difficult things about living in Bali is the time zones. So my team and my business runs on Eastern Standard Time because I was living in New York City. I built my business in New York. Most of my clients are in the US. We do have people worldwide, so I also have clients in Australia and Europe. The time zones have been tough. So I'll be honest with you guys, I lost a lot of my morning routine and night routines because of time zones, because when I'm waking up right at 6 o'clock in the morning, my team is just ending their day at 6 p.m. Eastern the day before. Then when I'm ready to go to bed at 9 p.m., 10 p.m., my team is just starting their day. So that's definitely been a con, but we know living in Bali is short term. It's not forever. So for now, we're okay with it. Running my business online while the rest of the world is sleeping. Now, this has been a huge factor in our success in growing the business and 10x scaling since I got here. I used to wake up at 5 a.m. and do my deep work from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. But now I've just switched my schedule a little bit and I have all day long to do my deep work. And if you're wondering at this point in the video, Julia, what is it that you're actually building? Well, I host an online course on a platform called School. Why I love School is because when I started building online courses back in 2021, I would pay a lot of money for these memberships, upwards of $100 a month, and they just kept raising the price. And it was getting extremely difficult because now all of my students were committed to one platform, but I wasn't loving it anymore. And a big part of actually switching that as well was because I would have my course and then I'd have to build some sort of group or community outside of the course on Facebook. And that just led me to having a really dead Facebook group. No one was ever engaging. And I always asked myself, I wonder if there was a platform where I could host my course and my community all in one. And that's when I discovered School. So I was actually a student on School inside of another course for about a year until I decided to transfer all my courses onto there myself. And the reason for this transfer was because you have the community, you have the classroom, and you have the events calendar all in one platform. Plus, the interface is so clean. Just take a look at it here. It is so beautiful and it is so engaging engaging, and my group engagement actually has gone up dramatically, that I decided to even build a whole free community on School. So inside my free community, I have over 600 people inside of that group, and then inside of my paid community is where I host my online courses like the Conscious Creator Academy. Out of these two groups, I have over 700 people on this platform, and people love it. It is such a great platform as a course creator or an online coach, or even if you just want to build a community. I love School, all my students love School, and even my students who create courses, which I teach people inside of the Conscious Creator Academy, are going towards School because of how great of an experience it has been, and the wonderful School community and creators that are also on the platform. So at this point in time, you're probably thinking, Julia, the pros really outweigh the cons. But there's one con that I have yet to go over that is the worst of the worst, and it is the bugs. Specifically the huntsman spiders. You guys, they freak me the freak out. Every time I put it on my story, people send me the funniest replies, and it is so great. So if you're not following me on Instagram, go check that out, because I post these bugs on my story all the time. I really hope that I don't ever see them again, but we see bugs on the dailies. And number 5, which you could probably tell by now that I am always the person who looks on the bright side, is nature. One of my favorite things here has been enjoying the sunrise and the sunset every single day, just walking outside of my villa, being able to put my feet in the grass. We actually live in the middle of a rice field, which is so cool, which is why there's so much nature, so many beautiful sounds all the time. A lot of people call Bali Mama Bali, and I do find that when you take something from Mama Bali, right, living in her land, you always have to give something, which is why I think I got Bali Belly when I first came here, really adjusting to the vortex of energy that Bali is. And it's really beautiful because the energy here is so serene, it's so calm, the people are so friendly, and I think that is a huge plus for me living here, especially coming from New York City, where people aren't the friendliest. It's really more of a cold hustle and bustle energy. Here, it's just so much easier to be so connected to myself, to nature, and to others. And the next con is quite controversial. We talked about it a little bit already, but the visas. So you can't stay in Bali more than 30 days unless you get an additional visa. Like, you can get a 2-year visa, you could get a 30-day extension, or I think you can even get a 6-month visa as well. You're constantly having to get up and leave, but sometimes it is a pro because there's so many places in Southeast Asia specifically that we've been wanting to visit that we now have trips planned for that we're able to go to because we're kind of forced to leave the country. And I would say off of that, a huge pro about living here is the solitude. I have so much alone time here, and I think that's one of my favorite parts about living here as well. I know I'm saying that a lot, but there's just so many things that I really love about living in Bali, and the alone time is huge. During the day, people don't really message me. I don't talk to people. I just feel like living in Bali, I can really hear myself think. I can really feel myself. I can really discover who I am on a whole new level because of the time zone and because there's just so much alone time here. Both my boyfriend and I have not intentionally made friends here because we're in this massive season of growth. And for us, we felt very distracted in New York City because there was always so many commitments and so many obligations. But being in Bali has really allowed me to dive into what is really important to me, which is my work, growing my community, my relationship, connecting with my family and my loved ones over FaceTime. I wish I could see them in person, but you know, I think being in Bali and having forced this solitude has been massive for my growth and my expansion in my business, in my personal life, and in my relationship. All in all, living in Bali has been one of the best experiences of my life. And if you're wondering if you should move to Bali in 2023, maybe you're aspiring to be a digital nomad or a full-time content creator or an online coach, an online business owner, I absolutely think you should do it. And the reason why is because not only is it just a once in a lifetime experience, right? Because I'm sure my priorities will change in a couple of years as my company grows, as my relationship grows, as life just starts to happen. My mom always says life is what happens when you're making plans. But if you have an opportunity to go and explore the world, you're thinking about taking a leap and quitting your job and starting something for yourself, just do it. Because one of my favorite quotes in the whole wide world is that the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and the second best time is today. All in all, living in Bali was one of the best decisions I ever made for myself, my relationship, and my business. Being able to quit my job, build my business, and move to Bali and live as a digital nomad definitely didn't happen by chance, and it was very intentional. So if you're feeling this energetic pull, maybe you're feeling like you want to travel the world, you want to move to Bali, or you want to live a digital nomad life and do something beyond the norm, I absolutely think that you should do it, because the whole goal and mission of my brand, my business, my content creation is to help you escape out of the matrix, help you follow your heart, follow your intuition, grow something magical for yourself that I know is already in store and inside of you. Listen to that pull, listen to your heart, and the clarity becomes simple when you stand in alignment with your truth. Look yourself in the mirror, ask yourself what you really want, and follow that intuition, because your intuition will never steer you wrong. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And of course, if you want to see more digital nomad life in Bali, check out this video next.